part 2, I guess.
Double up. Kali was een aspect. Kom eens voor.
The man alone.
You know what the one good thing of COVID is? I can hide my nose.
Must be proud of your nose, though.
The Babbling Heads Podcast.
Yeah, this is a special edition. Apparently, it's the Fadiel's personal edition.
Just a quickie. Niet die kop inzet.
Wat is het, Wat is het?
That should.
Pun intended.
Fadiel. Let's start with the. Is the city suing you?
The city of Cape Town has.
Waar is het nou weer gemaakt?
They're asking the courts to stop me from closing these sites and that type of thing. They're asking the courts to stop me from raising my voice when they discriminate against our people, when they refuse to employ our people, when they refuse to give our building contractors and local businesses opportunity. They are asking the courts to stop me from doing this. The judge said to them, no, these people are not being unreasonable. You need to mediate. The city of Cape Town, its shallow and blatant racism is being exposed daily. The only problem is colored people aren't listening.
Yeah.
Final are these, I'm going to ask you a question now, which is quite technical, like in terms of process. Are these contractors or companies or businesses registered with the city?
The city is a database of registered businesses.
Okay.
They don't need...
I'm
they
asking.
don't need me to close their sites. They simply need to look at their own database.
Exactly.
But every time I turn around and there's work opportunity in our areas, the main contractor is a white man.
Come out.
The subcontractor is a black man.
Okay.
And I've got serious issues with that. They're telling our people we're not fit to work. And that's not working for me. It's like, let me just give you the tip of the iceberg here. They start working in Lentegier. That will be the last development in Lentegier because of space. When we got there, not a single person from Lentegier was working there.
Yo.
So I stopped the site.
Yeah.
No, but it's quite right. It's like there should be a certain percentage of each local demographic.
But what do? They take me to court. Why? To demonize me. I look like a madman. I don't want progression. I'm saying, fuck that. I want progression, but I want my people to be involved in it.
Yeah, at least have some financial reward.
You know,
that's one of the biggest things I'm upset about is that even in other parts of the Western Cape, they will actually import. Or not import, they'll get a contractor from Cape Town, say Marion Roberts. And then they will bring that person from Cape Town, and that's a lot more money, because there is people there. You can create a co-op between the small businesses and do something.
That's why we have joint ventures.
Exactly.
It's called skills transfer.
Yeah.
You know, you can do the job, but your paperwork isn't up to date, up to scratch. So they get him, and you teach him how. They don't do this for us.
Yeah.
Guys, you know what? Again, man. They're going to accuse me of banging the race drum. You're going to Kailicha, you're going to Langa. If he's a development, it's 100% black. Now, we're not saying it's supposed to be 100% colored. We're saying give us 50% of the opportunity. And I need to go to court for this. Come on, man.
No, it's going to have to be a question of having to fight for what is right.
They're not going to give it to us.
They're not going to give it to us.
We're going to have to take
really. When it comes to... You're not even looking at politics and race anymore. You're looking at economics. And how they want to control... The economics is a narrative that they're going to actually push out, because until we can say, look at this is what we are, we demand this. There's no ways you're coming in. The same way that the gangsters can hold all city projects within certain areas. As they need tax betalen, gaat fokol gebeur nie. Plain and simple. They've done it, they've held the city to account. The city has been paying the gangsters off. So why is it that it's so hard for the city to say it? If you're coming within the colored community, 50% of the community needs to be employed. Whether it's going to be as daga mixers, bricklayers, tradesmen, etc. It's like we have the skills, we have the trades.
If somebody were to ask you what proof do you have about the government and the gangsters, what would you say?
The city has.
I've got
proof would you say?
I've got proof. I've got email proof from JP Smith's office that they've done it, that they've paid gangsters 2 million rand. I've got it. Okay. Nothing happens. You can go and you can lay charges left, right, and center. Nothing. I tell you now, when it comes to the suppression of the colored people, the ANC and the DA are in the same WhatsApp group. They don't act against each other. Anything else, you'll see them politicking over this, that, and the other. But when it's our kids getting killed, they don't act. They've got no interest to act.
I'm going to ask you, Fadiel. I mean, you're quite vocal about your stance and you've created the political party. Besides what you're doing right now, and this is quite radical. I've seen some of the things that you've done. can we expect something similar if you were to be, successful and you get a couple of seats in the local council or even in the provincial and national elections? Or is this just something now to advocate that we exist, CCC, and once we empower, we're actually going to be more in tune with the system? Because at the end of the day, this is obviously helpful, but this might not change what you want to get changed. Because I mean, we in a democracy, we in a
it's a democracy.
Yeah,
it's not a democracy.
We in a process of these things, this public participation, these ward council meetings, etc., etc. So I'm basically asking is I'm thinking you will get the required support. Will you be able to adapt your way of doing things to integrate into what is actually?
Is it going to assimilate basically?
Are you going to conform?
Are you asking me if I'm going to turn into a politician?
Are you gonna use the system because you know how the system works now? You know how the DA works, like you say. You know how the ANC works. So you have to, unfortunately, if you are successful, you have to integrate into that and say, you know what, these the structures in place, intergovernmental relations, blah blah blah, acts and whatever. You need to now through lobbying and through sitting around the round table and using your seat and your voice now to say, no, I'm not happy with this. I want 60% of colored people to be employed when a contractor comes into our communities. Something like that.
Believe it or not, I don't have horns. I actually don't need to fight on a daily basis. But you know what? I've discovered that the abrasive approach is the effective approach. And that's the one I'll use. I'm not averse to sitting at a table and discussing. We can always work things out. However, this system of ours, it is designed to take the longest possible route to the shortest possible destination. Yeah. And that's not what we're about. We're about getting from point A to point B in the shortest time period with the least expense.
Yeah.
Now, government doesn't, for some strange reason, government does not operate like that. And to me, it's not about, it shouldn't be about color, it should be about fairness, man.
Yeah.
But the country I live in, everything's about color. And sadly, it's at the expense of the colored.
Yeah.
And I can't be about that. If you're asking me if I'm coming in there to play their game, no. I'm coming in there batting for the colored community because no one else is. And if that's going to make me unpopular, so be it.
Yeah. I like the answer.
Ask you the question I asked will there ever be a time, say 10 years, say 20 years from now, whatever, do you think that the CCC will be what the DA is claiming to be now? Like a fair for everybody?
I don't mean to play nationalist politics, guys. The CCC will be whatever the people want it to be. At some stage, let me tell you this. We are here to do for the colored community, but we're also here to do for everyone whose turn it is. If it is Langa's turn to get, then Langa will get. If it is Kailicha's turn to get, then Kailicha will get. This is not about race for us, it's about fairness. But the CCC is about our identity, the one that they'd have us deny. This government would very happily act as if colored people don't exist. And that is what CCC is about. It is our turn to tell the government, fuck you, we are here, we belong here, we don't need to justify our existence to anybody. That's what CCC is about. If black people want to join and vote, by all means.
Fadiel, I want to ask you a question, and this is not even political. I raised it earlier on. If you look at South Africa, our makeup is in different areas, there's different clans or groups. Why hasn't this Department of Traditional Affairs and something, they acknowledge in other provinces, like they get money, they get paid to be traditional leaders. Why not in the Western Cape? And I have a personal view. I think because the Western Cape has a different political party that runs it firstly.
No, I think it was usurped a long time ago in terms of we're looking at the Khoi councils. The Kasach, etc. There's various bodies. I think the last major gathering was held at the Good Hope Center, where the chiefs, etc., and captains from different Khoi clans, Khoi Griqua, etc. But it's been downplayed, so you don't see the stuff in the media. It was basically kicking. Ons geef jou 'n kroon in die maand, and you do your thing, but you keep it.
Yeah, but they're not acknowledged. We have the Western Cape Cultural Council.
Let me answer that for you. Why would government want to acknowledge the true owners of the land?
There we go.
In 94, Mandela tried to have a Xhosa king assigned to the Western Cape. They even had the ritual on the other side of the N2. In Khoi land. The plan is to write us out a history, guys, man. You know, that racist Gemos Helen Zille made a statement that the Khoi and the Sun no longer exist. She said it. She said it.
She must go to the Northern Cape or to West Coast.
But she must
Go to Kwato.
You know what? Yeah. She needs to take the Botox out of her lips so she can see the Khoi walking around in Cape Town.
Boom.
You know, the plan is simple, guys. Man. We're in the way. And we are here to tell them that we're here to stay. We have no other home. We are not going anywhere. You know, this is my land too, man. I belong here. You know, I've got a contribution to make. Look around you guys. In the last 3 weeks, we buried 3 children.
One in Parkwood.
Police victims, all of them. Not the one in Parkwood. I'm talking about a Down syndrome sufferer, 16 years old with a biscuit in his hand being shot multiple times. I'm talking about a 9-year-old lady sitting in his mother's shack having soup, shot in the head. This is our reality. Small coffins, cold bodies. I don't want to play this game no more. You know what my normal is? Is gunshots in the morning, gunshots in the afternoon, gunshots at night. That's my normal. And this state is telling me that that is okay. That to live like we live is okay. No, sir. These monuments to apartheid must come down. When I talk about monuments to apartheid, I'm not talking about the shit that the EFF protests about, statues and this type of thing. I'm talking about these flats. They must come down. That is what I'm talking about. You know?
Spatial transformation.
I got clicks here, I'm okay with it. I don't need to go smash a fucking window for it. We got bigger issues than that. We are burying children today. VBS is a bigger issue than clicks. You know what I'm saying? We need to, you know what? There are so many problems facing this country. And the people with the power and the numbers to make these changes, to effect change, are being caught up in shit like, we got to go after the real issues, man. The high mortality rate, the unemployment, the housing, the land, the crime, the corruption. That's what we need to go after. Not the sideshows, the things that get airtime on TV and radio.
Fadiel, there was something that I didn't ask Sakina, but I wanted to ask you this.
Scared of Sakina?
No.
She's got
she's got that. I have Yuna here on the platform, so I'm like, I'm gonna use every opportunity to speak to her.
She's that small dinosaur.
That's a
Your manifesto is quite clear about people from the Eastern Cape being in the Western Cape, going back to the Eastern Cape. Wouldn't you be cautious about advocating something like that?
No.
What drives that particular agenda?
Look, if you took a drive down Baden-Powell in the last 6 months.
The tent.
Boss, tell me something. We all have freedom of movement. Right? That's guaranteed in the Constitution. Yeah. That should be there. But the freedom of movement comes with the responsibility. Freedom comes with the responsibility. Right? So, you come from the Eastern Cape. You put up a shack. You protest, you burn, you stone, you do whatever the fuck you want to. You hurt. You damage. And Cape Townians are supposed to be okay with it because you've got freedom of movement. We are saying as CCC, if we get into council, if we have the power to make decisions, we will not service anybody who's not on the waiting list. Finish and clear.
Okay.
If you think that you can land here today, claim land tomorrow, get service tomorrow, get housing next year, forget about it. You will go home because you will not be serviced. You will do the right thing. You will go to the council office with your ID. You'll put your name on a waiting list and you will get in the fucking line like our grandmothers do.
And rent and pay.
Yeah.
Look, no. We won't go on about rent and pay because if you don't have money, you can't pay.
Yeah.
It's that simple. Sadly, 60% of this country lives on the poverty line.
Yeah.
It is something that we must deal with. It is something that we must acknowledge. It is a person that needs help. However, what we as CCC says is that if you have land in the Eastern Cape, you have no right to land here. Because Cape Townians right here own nothing as it is. That is what we're saying. We're not saying we don't want you here. If you want to come here, if you want to work, if you want to build, by all means, brother, come and join us. If you're here to loot, if you're here to damage, then you will be dealt with. That is what we're saying.
Again, this gives me context because like I was telling Sakina, I'm being honest, I was very skeptical about CCC. I'm very skeptical, but sometimes you see something and you think, I'm going to be honest, I'm going to say this, I think you're a racist. Like, why you don't want, we're supposed to have freedom of movement. I can go to the Eastern Cape. If I have money, I can buy me a piece of land. But
that's a thing. That's
the thing. I want to go and buy land. I'm not going to take somebody else's...
Let me contextualize this for you. Let's take 2 million Xhosas. Indians, coloureds, whites. Let's go to KZN. Let's invade land. Let's close roads and stone. What is the Zulu going to do?
They're going to beat the shit.
Is he going to be accused of being racist? So why are we? You see, we've got different rules for different people in this country.
Yeah.
And that it's almost illegal for a colored man to say, what about my rights? What about my children? It is almost illegal for us to say this. You asked Sakina a question about the varsity thing. I can point you to 1,000 kids who jumped through hoops for NSFAS assistance and didn't receive it because they're colored. Because they're not wanted at varsity. You know what? You take a colored 18-year-old. For 12 years, he's made the right decisions. He's walked from a bad home, through a bad neighborhood, to a terrible school, and back again. On his way, over the last 12 years, a dozen or so of his friends have died going to school. So he passes matric. He does relatively well. He tries to get into a varsity to better himself. The varsity says, no, fuck you. We don't want you here because of your skin color. We're supposed to stay quiet. In what world do we live, guys? You know, it's like you said, Hanover Park, it's a concentration camp. What has the DA done for us? They've concentrated the concentration camp. They're now putting fences around the bloody thing. We're trying to get people out of Hanover Park. They're trying to lock them in. We are saying, let us release the land. Let us give it to the people. Let's empty these ghettos. They're saying, to hell with that. We've got property to sell.
To the highest bidder.
And it's also, you must remember that is the Cape Flats is a source of income to our council. To our people pay, as mediocre as it sounds, at 350, I don't know how much it is now.
It's not
350 over 50 years, eh?
Yeah.
It's not mediocre. If you're looking at the
numbers.
the moment you put up a colored community, the next thing that goes up is a strip mall that contains a ShopRite liquors, etc.
It's a market.
There's a market. We have huge economic potential. Even though we are fucking below the poverty line, circling our mood of we have economic power. And I think until we realize that.
Let me contextualize economic power for you. Mitchell's Plain, a suburb of the city of Cape Town, contributes more to the GDP of this country than the city of Stellenbosch. 14 times more. What does it receive?
In terms of
Let me
services.
contextualize again what we were to the state. When they concentrate us in concentration camps, every Monday morning, 1,000 of us are paying lawyers, paying fines and bails at court for the things that happened this weekend. We are nothing but a source of income to the state. That man over there who lives in this biggie-infested swamp pays more per square meter in rates and taxes than a white man living in Constantia. This is the system.
No, for sure.
This is the system that we aim to break. Let me tell you, when CCC sits in power, that day will come. I'll probably be dead, but that day will come. No person over the age of 60 will pay water for water used responsibly. We will scrap all rates arrears for every person living in the city of Cape Town. Because we believe that the city of Cape Town has screwed us. The dams are full, they're overflowing. Are they going to give us a water break? No, they're going to continue charging us.
Yeah. Because once they put the prices up, they never bring it down.
Yeah.
Gentlemen,
Thank you.
we have a war. Now, you might not like me, but you know what? In any civilization, you get two types of generals.
Yeah.
You get a peacetime general, you get a wartime general. I'm at war. When the war is won,
Then you'll be the peace.
I'm more than happy to get up my chair and tell the nice guy in the English suit, with the English shoes and the English accent, here you go, ba. Take the lead, I can't do this no more. But right now, you know what? Colored people are in need of fighters, not leaders.
Amen. Amen.
Sign off before you go.
I gotta go. I still gotta go to Worcester.
Let's make it short. Let's make it short.
Oh, yeah. So from us, the Babbling Heads, this was the quickie. Well, not so quickie. He
Fadiel's
lasted more than
quickie.
2 minutes.
I've had one baby from a quickie already.
So yeah, from us, peace out.
Fingers.
Adrian.
Peace, 187.
Fun, gentlemen. Thank
Thank you so much, Fadiel. No, thank you so much.
I wake up in the morning to get banned. Like, I get a 30-day ban. Like, I check.
You must get a sponsor by Band-Aid then.
Babbling Heads Podcast.